this Tuesday night, Sun Devil hockey is in recharge mode after 3 weekends of some hard-nosed hockey. In the last 2 weeks since we last spoke, the Sun Devils have earned some hardware, debuted a couple new players, and learned a lot about themselves. Now a brief break before the most important time of the year, when conference play opens up. Hi, everybody. Welcome into Season 4, Episode 3 of Hell Frozen Over, your source for the latest Sun Devil hockey news and notes, streaming tonight on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app. I'm Tyler Paley, the team's play-by-play broadcaster, and tonight, as you can see, we are switching things up a little bit on the bye week. We are live from Mullet Arena in Tempe. Joining me tonight and every show this year, Arizona State head coach Greg Powers and my broadcast partner, Alex Coil. Coach, a lot to catch up on since our last show, but now that we're all back after the first road trip of the year, a lot of new guys, first time traveling together. Aside from the results, of course, which we'll get to, how do you think the trip went, and how do road trips writ large help with team chemistry this early?
Getting away together is always good. The road trip overall, it sucked. You know, it's all about results. That's the world we live in, and we didn't go up there and get the results that we desire on any level. But like I told the guys after the game, hey, we're going to go back, we're going to reset, we're going to get better. We know what we need to work on, and we just need to play more passionate, better connected hockey, and we will.
At points like this, where is the balance for the coaching staff of going in and correcting and focusing on the things and being a hard coach versus, you know, easing the guys into like, oh, we got so much hockey in front of us, and if we fix the things, we're going to be okay?
Yeah, I think the balance is exactly that. There has to be balance. It can't just be, hey, we went up there and didn't have a very good weekend. Friday, I thought for the most part, we probably were the better team. We probably should have won that game. But Saturday, they took it to us. They were just a better team. They were faster at the pucks. They were more connected. They were definitely more passionate and had more energy than we did. And we were flat and slow to pucks, and you could feel it and you could see it. So it is what it is. But I think that's a great question, because it's not, you know, I think the worst thing you can do is come back here as a coach and take the bullwhip out and
right.
just whip them
right.
every day. You know, we look, the reality is we have 17 new players that have never played in this program, and we need to mold them and continue to sculpt them and build them up and get them to be Sun Devil hockey tough, Sun Devil hockey passionate, Sun Devil hockey, everything that we're about. You know, you're in our locker room, you see, you know, six words that say integrity, selflessness, passion, focus, confidence, and trust. And the biggest things we're focusing on, you know, in these 2 weeks is those two things, confidence and trust. You know, really, really honing in on being able to trust each other, trust the process, trust what we're asking them to do, and earning and building trust with everybody.
Good to have 2 weeks to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, it really comes at a perfect time, and I do want to dive into that a little bit more. But first, let's rewind a second, if you don't mind, back to the Icebreaker tournament. We haven't had a show since then. Game 1, of course, you guys jumped out to an early lead against Notre Dame. The Irish did end up threatening in the second period, but Ben Keevan answered in a big way, 2 goals of his own, his first 2 collegiate goals at that point, the first of which went down as the eventual game winner in that one. How impressed were you overall by that first win of the season and the ability to play in the championship game on Saturday?
It was a great win. I thought that what I liked about it was obviously we go out to a 3-0 lead. They cut it to 3-2, and then we go right back out and get it up to 5-3 and don't look at 5-2 and don't look back. So you know, it was kind of counterpunch. And our guys did the last one, and it was enough to get us to the championship game against a good Notre Dame team that just took it to St. Lawrence over the weekend. It's going to win a lot of games.
Tyler mentioned Ben Keevan and what he was able to bring not only in that game, but that weekend. It seemed like he truly popped. What does he bring to the program outside of the obvious skill and second-round pick mentality?
Yeah, a lot. I mean, speed and tenacity to get pucks to the net, and he loves to score. He's electric when the puck's on his stick. He's a young player, though, and he has a lot of work to do off the puck, a lot of work to do on the defensive side of the puck, and that's why he's here. He's here to get better in those areas and learn. He's a second-round draft pick for a reason, and I think that he showed why, just in those 2 goals alone, why he was such a high draft pick with how much promise and talent and potential he has. And now it's on us to bring out the other aspects of his game over the next few years while he's here with us to make sure that he when he moves on to the highest level in the world, he's ready to go.
You could just tell how pumped up he was after this as well.
Oh, yeah, he loves to score.
Yeah, that became evident quickly. All right, so game 2 of the Icebreaker Saturday rolls around. You guys are playing a very good and very familiar Alaska team. Similar story as far as jumping out to the lead and really never looking back. A Cruz Lucius third-period hat trick really sealed the deal. And sealed another in-season tournament win for you guys. How special was it, especially taking place in the second weekend of the season?
Yeah, I mean, to win a trophy, home ice, in front of your our fans, who saw 2 pretty heartbreaking losses the weekend prior was good. It was good for our guys to feel that and enjoy that together. And you hope you can build momentum through that kind of success and have it breed more winning. But to have a young team, go through that early in the season and beat a good Fairbanks is legit. They've beaten Quinnipiac. They just beat Michigan Tech 5-1, who went up to Minnesota and won. It's college hockey is the parity is larger than it's ever been right now. And it's all over the map. Whether it's Lindenwood beating Denver, whether it's Fairbanks, beating Quinnipiac, whether it's Michigan Tech going to Minnesota and beating them, whether it's Augustana sweeping ASU. It's everywhere. So and it's exciting.
To see Cruz Lucius do what he was able to do in that second game, knowing what he went through last year and the great summer that he had, how good did it feel for the person that he was able to pop like that, and then knowing you're going to get a fantastic player for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I mean, we really wanted him to get off to a good start, and he's 6 goals in 6 games, and I mean, he could easily have 10.
Yeah.
So, he's off to the start that we need him to be. And because he's a leader and he's one of our oldest, most veteran players, and he's playing like it. He's doing more for us than just scoring. He's making plays. His rush offense is more effective than anybody on our team right now. What he's doing when he enters the zone, his stick battles and his ability to go and win battles for us is really good right now. He's really well rounded his game, and he's all about winning. He's all about the program. He's all about his teammates. And generally, when you have that approach, good things happen, and good things are happening to him.
Yeah, certainly. He's and it's still one of college hockey writ large is leading scorers still over the course of his career between Wisconsin and ASU. All right, so we rewind to last weekend, Augustana. You guys had momentum, obviously, from the prior week with the Icebreaker. It seemed to carry over at the beginning, 2 first-period goals. But then that was it offensively. Augustana chipped away, took advantage of a couple of costly turnovers, a lot of perimeter play on ASU's end. I know that loss really stung for you and the whole team because of the self-inflicted nature is what you relayed to us after that game.
Yeah, I thought Friday we beat ourselves. They didn't really have to make any plays to go up and take the lead and win that game. And it was frustrating because we like you said, we did ride the momentum. We were feeling great all week. We had a good trip up there. It was an easy trip. It was a great place to go play. Great crowd, great venue. Garrett's done an unbelievable job with their program. Go up on them 2-0. It felt like we were in complete control of the game. And you have a line out there that you really trust in the last 2 minutes, and they had a couple brain farts, and it happens. And then they pop a goal going into the first intermission. It's 2-1. I'm convinced if we go in that intermission up 2-0, it's a completely different outcome. But that's why we focus so much on those last 2 minutes of every period to really tighten things up, especially when you have the lead and to not give the other team momentum going into the room. So a lot of lessons have been learned so far this season through 6 games, and those are lessons we got to make sure make us better.
Of course, you would much rather learn those lessons in a win, but how valuable are those lessons going to be for when you go to a Miami and let's say you take a lead late to finish off a game? You take a lead at a Denver, you take a lead at a North Dakota to finish off that, to get the 11 freshmen to understand what it feels like and know, all right, let's not do that, and how to close out a win.
The best thing to draw on is experience, right?
Sure.
You can only go through so much over film. You can only talk about it to exhaustion so much until your voice becomes deaf, or falls on deaf ears. And so to go through the experiences is big. We closed out 2 games here last weekend.
Yep.
There's a lot of positive to our season. We could easily be 6-0.
Yeah,
we probably should be 5-1, and we've been trailing going into 1/3 period. We've got to find a way to find another gear with this young team and to be able to play a full 60 minutes. And when we do, we are going to be really good.
Just to recap, and not to beat a dead horse here, but game 2 against Augustana, it was the Vikings who got off to a 1-0 lead, short-lived. You guys tie it later in the first. You blink, you're 2 periods in, it's 3-1 Augustana. Your team wouldn't go away. They did score, making it 3-2 in the third, but then, again, they took advantage of a couple mistakes, ultimately winning 5-2 with the empty netter. It felt like your team played significantly better on Saturday, at least from our vantage point. What is it that they're struggling to get pucks on net? Because just single-digit shot totals in each of those 3 periods.
Saturday we were just flat. Like I said, we were flat. We had no second support, on anybody with the puck, and we were relying on quick strike offense, one and done type opportunities. And that's not going to win you games. We have to find a consistent ground game. We love to be lethal and dangerous off the rush, like we always have been. But like last year, it took us, unfortunately, 13 games to find that quote-unquote ground game and get these guys to really understand what it's going to take to generate ozone offense, to sustained ozone pressure and possession. And once we became a really good possession team was when we turned the season around. And so we're drawing on those experiences and telling this team, hey, it took last year's team 13 games. It can't take that long. It shouldn't take that long. There's no reason for it to take that long. You got to buy in. We got to do this now. And I believe the bye week came at a perfect time because we are going to work on all this stuff. We did exhaustively today. We're going to do it again tomorrow and every day until we go play Miami.
And are they responding well so
far?
Yeah,
the attitude and the energy and everything was really positive today.
Good.
And it's on me to keep it positive and again, draw on experiences. We started last year, I think 3-7-1.
Yep.
And
that's right.
And we turned it around. And so I think we were 1-4 in 1 through 6 games, and this year we're 2-4. I'm not pumping my chest on 2 crappy starts because nobody likes to get off to a better start more than I did. 2 years ago, we got off to, I think we were 7-1-1 to start, right?
Yeah.
So, and when you can do that, you get that momentum, and it seems to breed, that's when the winning breeds winning, and so we got to get that going and get these guys in this room, feeling confident and trusting what our process is and trusting each other, and we will. That's what the main focus is this week.
And you can just feel, like being around the team, you can feel they want to win. And you use the term capable of winning a lot this past weekend. Yeah. It's just they're not translating.
And that's exactly what I said to them before the first game is, we all know what we're capable of. We have a lot of talent in this room. And at the end of the day, in life, in sports, it doesn't matter what you're capable of. It matters what you're actually willing to do.
Yep.
How willing are you to go out and do what it takes to beat an opponent? It's hard.
It's really hard.
And that other team was more willing than us this weekend. It was that simple.
One thing one player I really enjoyed watching, and first time that we've got to discuss his play on the ice was Sam Urban. The athleticism, the confidence that he brings in the crease. What have you liked from him? What have you seen from him in his first 2 collegiate appearances?
Just his swagger, right? He's a confident kid on and off the ice, and he brings a great personality, and he plays with that personality. He plays with that energy. He plays the puck really well, which is a huge help. He's got a hell of a future in front of him. We're just really happy he's here.
What are you doing to help Connor Hasley through his early season kind of roller coaster? I don't want to say complete struggles, but how are you trying to get him, back to what we saw he could do last year?
I think Has just has to settle in and focus on giving us, the saves that he should make. He's making big saves. He's making big saves. He's coming through in big moments and doing a really good job. But then there's just some moments where what breaks teams back sometimes is when a goalie lets in something that you probably shouldn't, and he's a hell of a goalie. We know he's got it in him. He's shown it here already. He's a microcosm of our entire team, really. We have to get these guys to put together full games, full 60 minutes. It's going to have breakdowns, and when you have breakdowns, your backup plan and your last line of defense is your goalie, and I know he'll come through for us.
One more before we head to a quick break. I do want to hear about your assessment of your power play up to this point. Obviously, the slow start, a rocking 5-goal performance against Alaska, but then just 1 goal last weekend, and they gave up technically 2 shorthanded goals. What's your assessment of that unit right now?
It's got to be better, right? And I think that is also just a microcosm of the immaturity that this team has collectively, and I don't mean that in a negative way, just the lack of experience that they have together in chemistry. The guy that's going to really help this power play is Jack Beck, and he's back now. So we're excited about adding him to the mix. He's really going to help it. He's going to help everything that we do, but it's scored some nice goals. It's done some good things. But your power play has to find a way to win you games and situations. And, it had a chance to win us the second Penn State game, and it didn't on a 5-on-3. It had plenty of chances over the weekend to pad leads and extend leads and give us leads in the third on Friday, and it didn't. It came through big on Saturday, cut it to 3-2. But we need them to really develop that killer instinct. And when you can go in and rip an opponent's jugular out and extend your lead to 3 and 4 with a power play, you got to be able to do it. Last year's team did that. They did that and in spades. And people were, when they fear your power play, they start playing less aggressive. They start getting hesitant. They start getting passive because they're so afraid to go to the box. And so it just propels everything that you do and opens up space, and so we got to get it to that point.
Yeah, you guys really hung your hat on that last year and in several seasons past as well. Well, a bit of a rocky start to the season, but remember, we are just 6 games into a 36-game slate. Plenty of time, that is, to get things rolling. We will preview ASU's next series coming up in the 3rd period. Up next, Sun Devil forward and alternate captain Cruz Lucius joins us to discuss his hot start. Our conversation right after this quick break on the Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil. Thanks for sticking with us for the 2nd period of Hell Frozen Over. It's our hour-long show talking all things Sun Devil hockey. Tonight we're live from Mullet Arena, but typically we're live on Tuesdays before a home series. This season from Willie's Taco Joint on the rooftop at the Vibe Hotel in Tempe. So you can consider joining us on Tuesday, November 4th at 6 p.m. Come grab some delicious food and talk some college hockey with us. Arizona State needs a dog, a scorer, a guy like Ryan Kerwin or Artem Schlane last year who are dangerous on every shift. There's one man emerging as that guy through 6 games this season, and that's Cruz Lucius. More than a point per game so far, a hat trick 2 weeks ago. He's been electric, and the Devils will be turning to him a lot as this season moves forward. Cruz joins us now on Hell Frozen Over. So appreciate you taking some time. Good to see you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
So first things first, obviously a bit of a rocky start to the year. How's the team's mentality right now during the bye week?
Yeah, I think it's obviously not the start we wanted, but you can only look forward, and we're using this bye week as a week to kind of come together, practice hard, and work on things we got to improve on in our habits just to get ready for these games coming up.
Yeah, it might not be the overall team success, but you specifically, especially with everything that you went through, early injury caused you to miss early parts of last season, and you come on in the back half and put up some good stuff. It looked good, but not what you wanted, not what everybody wanted. To have the summer that you did, fully healthy into this one, and then get off to this start, what did that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, I think first it's credit to the guys who I'm out on the ice with.
Sure.
Like, wouldn't be able to do it without some of the passes and just plays that we've been making. But yeah, it feels good. I think overall, just summer I have was just a big focus on kind of getting my shoulder back to where it was before. I think going back to last year, I kind of came back a little bit early just because I really wanted to play and get there with the guys. But couldn't be happier with the summer I had, and obviously our strength coach and trainer and everybody helping me. So yeah, it's good to feel back to normal.
That's awesome. Is there anything you're doing, you specifically right now, to kind of right the ship, whether that's on the ice, off the ice? What are you doing and taking into your own hands?
Yeah, I think I'm just trying to be there for the guys right now. Obviously, being a leader is a big role to have. Just try to build culture, help the guys whenever they need it. It's hard coming in as a freshman and as a transfer. So many new guys, but I think for myself, just trying to help the guys and fit in, and whatever they need, I'm there for them. So
That's great. And I do want to ask you about you being an alternate captain. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
That is no small honor. Before I ask you about this kind of time specifically, tell me about how you found out and kind of your reaction and your reaction after the fact that hey, I'm going to be like a legitimate leader on this team.
Yeah, I mean, I think looking back on it, it's obviously something that I wanted, and I think going back to the start of the spring after our season, I had a conversation with coach just how much I did want it. He explained to me that basically, it's hard, and obviously there's a lot of guys that are deserving of it for sure. But just kind of being there in the summer with the guys, I spent a lot of time here meeting the new guys when they came in right away. Helping build, like I said, the culture at the start. And then obviously just having experience in college too, I think helps a lot. And yeah, when coach called me kind of the night before he announced it, it was an unbelievable feeling. And with Shim being the captain, he obviously was in the know of it before, and we're roommates too and hang out all the time. He didn't tell me. He was
good for him.
Yeah,
I wouldn't have been able to keep that secret.
But I always appreciate that. Like, at the end of the day, it's the most important thing is winning games and being hockey in general. And if that wasn't the case, me being captain, it's all focus on the season. But no matter what, I obviously wanted to be a leader on the team, and I couldn't be more excited. And just it's a big honor.
That's awesome.
You also get to, you mentioned Bennett. You guys have played together for a long time. You guys have known each other for a long time. Where did you guys first meet? Like, where did you guys first skate together, and how cool is it to be on the same line here?
Yeah, I can't remember what grade because it's that long ago, but I want to say it was like third grade. It was a long time ago, and I really don't remember meeting him. We both went to the same school.
Who was better?
I'd like to say myself. Yeah, for sure.
I'll take your word for it. He's not here.
Yeah. But yeah, like growing up, he was always one of my really good buddies, and then we really do have a close group of friends back at home, guys who I've played with since I was, basically 10 leading up to 15, 16. So we do have a close group of guys at home, and it's kind of crazy how that turned out for me and him to be living together on the same team. And yeah, he is an unbelievable guy.
Yeah,
so.
and but both of you
and
guys
a great player too.
Yeah, both of you guys. I'm thinking back to Augustana.
Top
like you
line.
guys,
Come on,
connecting on that goal in particular. That must have been so special. I know you guys have connected on probably many goals over the course of your hockey careers. But how special was that one, despite the loss?
Obviously it's always nice to put one in together, but. Yeah, we do connect. He's just an easy player to play with. Knowing him for so long, you really can talk to him about anything, and he and as well as he can say things to me, and no matter if it's good or bad, we both eat it and move on. I think that's how you be successful as a line and really as a team, is being able to communicate with each other on things you think maybe they need to improve on, or as well as for myself too. And I think both of us do have a good connection with that, and it's coming from a good place.
Yeah,
so
you can be honest with each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, all we want to do is win and succeed as a team, and put each other in the best spots to succeed and to be consistent
and
as well.
cheer each other on.
I'm always cheering them on, as well as all the other guys.
And I think those relationships in a time where you guys are right now, coming off a disappointing series, especially from the captain group, because that messaging can be the same on down to the younger guys. What kind of stuff are you doing to keep the group close together, but also the vibe high in this room to make sure that that 2 losses doesn't spiral?
Yeah, I think you got to look at, it is early in the season. And then you look at last year too. We didn't have the greatest start in the world, or what we wanted to. And for some of the games that we have had, we were right there. And I think it comes down to just us preparing better and being ready for those moments. Being up in games, that's a big thing. In college, is hard to win. And we have played some really, really good teams. But what we're doing, we're always trying to be together. We have a really, really close group of guys and a great culture. And I think the team, what we need is not to get too high, not to get too low. I mean, everybody's gonna, have ups and downs throughout the year, and it's about staying consistent and doing the right things. And I think, going into this week and next week, it is about doing the right things. Coach has really preached, you live right and you do good, and I think that is very true. So.
I mentioned it a few moments ago, and if you're like any of our previous guests for the last 4 seasons, you're not going to want to talk a lot about yourself, but I'm going to ask anyway. You're off to a really hot start this season, 7 points in 6 games at my last check, already a hat trick in front of your home crowd. What's been clicking for you so far this year?
Yeah, I mean, I would say obviously the preparation I had in the summer, but going back to kind of what I said previously, I think it is staying kind of even keel. It is a long season, so you can have really good stretches of games, but it is about what you're doing in that time and what you're doing after. I think just trying to be consistent in that, staying to what I'm doing throughout the week, preparing for games, and having that never change, even after a good game or a bad game. So
that's consistency is the key. Just a couple more before we head to break, but I do want to ask. Obviously, you guys are on a bye week, which Coach Powers, and I don't know if you agree that it comes at the perfect time, to kind of reset. After that, you guys have Miami, not the Red Hawks of the past who you've seen. They're good. They're turning a lot of heads across college hockey. How are you guys approaching that series, if at all, right now, to open up conference play?
Yeah, that's a good point. Conference play is a really big thing, and you want to start off hot. I know for a fact Miami is a good team, and that it will be a challenge for us, but like you always go back to, it's preparing, it's being together, it's a good hard week of practice, and then just watching them, looking at how they play, and then ultimately being confident in ourselves, I think is the biggest thing. Not looking in the past, just moving forward.
Well, we knew that you would be an integral part of this year's offense, already showing in a huge way as we enter the final season of October. So appreciate you joining us tonight. Hope you get to go enjoy some food out there, and enjoy the bye week while it lasts, and we'll talk to you next week.
Awesome. Thank you guys for your time.
Thanks, Cruz. Appreciate it. When we return to Hell Frozen Over on this Tuesday, Coach Powers rejoins the show for the third period. He will help us preview the Miami series and NCHC play. That's right after this short break here on the Mountain American Credit Union. Back at Tempe for the third period. You're listening to Hell Frozen Over live on the Mountain America Credit Union Sun Devil Radio Network from Mullet Arena tonight. Shows this season Tuesdays before home series from 6 to 7 p.m. Our next one is Tuesday, November 4th. You can come and hang out with Coach Powers and our Sun Devil hockey guests over at the Vibe Hotel. Coach, bye weeks can be both a blessing and a curse. How do you view this bye week after your first 3 weekends of
With
play?
as long as our season is, it's never a curse, ever. And if you look at our history after bye weeks, we've generally done really well. I think last year our first bye week wasn't until we played Duluth at home. And and I think a lot of people were worried that a sweep after Denver would kill the momentum, but look, these like, especially when you have a young team like we have, like, you need as much time with these kids as you can get, and we're spending it this week. We're gonna do a lot of things together. We're gonna spend a lot of time at the rink, and obviously focus on what we need to on the ice, but stuff off the ice, and just become a even tighter knit group over the net course of the next 10 days, and then we're off on another road trip where we become even closer.
Bye week also means that you get to get healthy. Of course, Brays and Bose are likely expected back. And then you also get Beck back, or I guess add Beck. What do those two bring, and how important is that, especially the timing right before conference play?
Do I expect them to light the world on fire and be utter world beaters in the first game or two? Probably not. Right. But they are difference makers in every way, and that's not to put pressure on them, but you can feel how inexperienced our D-core is at times, right? And what Brazen Bozer gives us is some experience, obviously, but just a really calming presence. That's the way he plays. He is a 200-foot defenseman that plays both ways. He breaks pucks out better than maybe anybody we've ever had in this program. He can break them out with his feet. He can break them out in so many different ways, and that calms the team down when you have a guy on the ice that's probably going to get 23 to 25 minutes a night, and more minutes than almost anybody on a nightly basis because that's how important he is to us. So to not have had him through 6 games, it has really hurt us.
See it,
and so we're excited to get him back. And it was just a freak accident that happened the week of Penn State in practice, and it was beyond freak accident. So it was unfortunate, but we're hopeful and anticipating that he will be back. And then Jack Beck is just a special player. He has poise. He can make plays. He gives us a much needed left shot that we really, it's going to allow us to put somebody else on their strong side and not play on their offhand, which is going to be huge. So we're excited to get him into the fold, and he's going to help us in every way.
Well, Alex jumped on my injury update question, so thanks for that. But I guess you answered it. So, Bose, you're expecting back for Miami. Anybody else, any other injuries to report at this stage?
No, not right now.
Good.
I mean, you never know. We have a week and a half left to practice,
Yep.
and things happen. But right now we're in good shape.
Fully healthy, knock on wood. That is some good news. Have you thought about where Bozer will play, who he will be paired up with on defense?
I don't know who he'll play with. We'll figure that out. But I can tell you that he's going to play a lot.
Okay, fair enough.
I like that.
We'll look forward to it. Face-offs. They seem to be an emerging advantage for your team, which is a welcome change, at least for Alex and me. Winning that battle in all 6 games so far, is there a different emphasis in terms of coaching in that aspect of the game this season?
Look, like there's face-off specialists, and there's kids that really embrace the art of being really good at that. And we have 4 of them. Like Potsy last year wasn't great at the top, but he was also 17. And he really worked at it, and he's been night and day better.
Yeah.
And then Logan Morrell and Sean McGurn are just absolute machines at the dot. And so, they've helped a ton. And then Kyle Smollen's always been really our top guy on faceoffs with Artie last year. So we have 4 guys that are winning faceoffs for us. And when you have that, that's a huge advantage. It's probably, like you said, one of the major bright spots and things that we can be excited about. We're starting with the puck a lot. Yep. Which is what you want. Now when we have it, we got to treat it more like it's a piece of gold, because it is.
On the face-off thing, I think it's a sore subject for Tyler and myself because of how frustrating it is at times to get the linesman to drop the puck simply. Is there some sort of point of emphasis early on in the season that they're working on?
Look, there is, and it's just there's a point of emphasis on making sure that the offensive centerman who comes in second has to pause and not come in and glide into it and cheat it. And I get that, but there's a fine line between giving linesmen a point of emphasis that can really, really control and dictate the flow of a game.
100%.
And it's just not working. So I don't know. There's nothing I can do about it. So it is what it is.
A lot of those you'll see early season officiating.
Sure.
Start
Set
to
the
wind
tone.
down.
Up there last weekend, it wasn't nearly
100%.
as bad. They said going into the weekend, their official supervisor came in and said, "Look, we want the puck on the ice. Just so you know, like this is what we're looking for. We want the puck on the ice. We want to let the players play. And I think as long as linesmen can develop that mindset, we'll be fine."
Yeah, just seems like McGurn is thrown out of every face-off, but whatever. That's a gripe for a different day. Let's dive into the next series that you guys have on the schedule, Miami. This is not the Miami of the past, even really the Miami of a few months ago. Last in the NCHC a year ago, didn't get a conference win. Really just the epitome of brutality, if you think about it. But Anthony Noreen seems to have them
That's
buzzing
harsh.
this year. But am I wrong? I won't make you answer that. They are really off to a fantastic start this year, and that's what we should focus on. What should we know about Miami?
Yeah, they're not the team that they were last year, and Anthony's a really good friend of mine. He and I go back a long ways, back to when he was in Youngstown in the USHL. When we were a club team, I had 2 individuals, Jordan Young and Stephen Collins, that played in Youngstown, that came and played for me. And Anthony was a really supportive conduit into making that happen and supporting those two guys to not going to NCAA and coming to ASU and playing on our ACHA team. He didn't poo-poo it. He didn't downplay it. He didn't talk down to it or me or anything. So we go back a long way and have stayed really good friends since those days. And I knew when they hired him he was going to do a great job. And in today's landscape with the portal and with the CHL and with the player pool being so big, it's not going to take long to get good. And that's what you're seeing, all this parity. Everybody's good.
Yep.
Everybody's good. And that's what I think the average maybe ASU fan that's not a college hockey connoisseur, so to speak, yet is learning is it doesn't matter. You can play Notre Dame one weekend and beat them, and then, for the average, sports fan here in the Valley who doesn't know who Augustana is, they peel back the onion and they're going, wait a minute. They're treating hockey at that institution like it's football.
Yep.
That's their big ticket. That's their main, program where they just built a brand new facility for it and are really supporting it from a resource standpoint in so many great ways. And there's so many teams like that and so many programs like that that have history, and they're not one that has history, but that the average, sports fan doesn't know about. That's what makes college hockey so great, is that on any given night, anyone can win. It's already been proven. Look at Penn State went to overtime with LIU last weekend. Yeah. Denver goes into Lindenwood and loses. The list is long already, right? And it's going to continue to be, and it's going to be a crazy season, and until people kind of figure out this new landscape. And I always said I thought that the CHL was really going to level the playing field, because some of those smaller programs are going up and getting those older players that are really ready, and it has.
Miami has a pretty good hockey tradition as well. Of course, to be a member of the NCHC, you kind of almost have to. How valuable is it to the conference to have all 9 of its members, on the upswing as much as they can, and competing?
Yeah, everybody's playing well and doing good things, and I think the non-conference record this year is drastically better than it was.
I believe best in the country.
Yep. And we're not helping that right now, but we still have 6 non-conference games left. So we'll figure that out and make sure we contribute. But it's a great league. We knew it was a great league last year. It just too many teams did what we did last weekend consistently, and it hurt the league. But right now the league's in a really good spot.
I know this is a hockey show. A lot of people are tuning in to talk about hockey, but I do want to ask you about kind of the state of Sun Devil athletics writ large right now. There's a lot of good things happening. Football's looking really good. Big upset win against Texas Tech this past
Was it an
weekend.
Upset, though?
Well, some people are saying
the experts
absolutely not. Yeah,
because our quarterback doesn't think it was an upset.
That's right. I got to agree with Sam on that.
I don't think it was an upset either.
I mean, it was awesome to watch regardless. Basketball season right around the corner. I know you're close with J.J. Van Niel and what he's doing with the volleyball program. They're up to, 7th in the country?
Dude's a stud, man.
I mean,
he's a stud.
Like what, there are lots of good things happening here on campus. What are you seeing and hearing to, kind of renew that from last year when it was a great season for Sun Devil athletics carrying into this year?
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of really good coaches, and I think coaches that there's a lot of coaches here that view this as a destination, and where I think, being such an avid Sun Devil sports fan for, 30 plus years since I've lived here and went to school here, I think that through those years, a lot of years, so many people viewed this as, a really good place, but a stepping stone to a lot of different things. And I think we have coaches here that certainly just view the lifestyle you can live here, the ability to attract young people to such an incredible institution, and the commitment to, getting better resources every day that we have through our president and AD, is just a lot of momentum. And we have people that are smart enough to realize, like, hey, the grass probably isn't going to be greener.
Right.
And it's taken, since I've been around 30 plus years to get a core group of coaches, I think, that feel that way. And I think we have a core group that does feel that way. And when you have a football coach that feels that way and is having success and has so much passion for what this institution is and for it, it trickles.
Yeah, it just makes it so much fun for everybody, us included. Coach Greg Powers with the latest here on Hell Frozen Over. His Sun Devils, of course, off this weekend, but they hit the ice on Hollow Weekend in Oxford, Ohio against Miami. Where would you rather be on Hollow Weekend other than Tempe or Oxford? I'll leave it at that. You'll hear from him on our pregame show beginning at 3:30.
What are you going to dress up as? You going to dress up as
That's
anything
true.
in
We should talk about that. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. What do you think I should dress up as? That'd be an easy one. I already have that.
Shrek?
First thing that comes to mind for Greg Powers from the top rope. On that note, we're going to head to break. Alex and I are back alone right after this on the Mountain American Credit
Dress
Union.
up as Shrek. You don't look like Shrek. You have to dress up like Shrek.
Oh, man. Back at the Mullet for overtime on Hell Frozen Over. Tyler Paley joined by only my broadcast partner, Alex Coil. We got to rethink our...
I go by Donkey now.
Or Farquaad and Donkey.
Yeah,
and,
sure. Yeah, if you're Shrek, right?
I don't know. I haven't watched Shrek in a while.
That's
but now
awesome.
I think I'm going to go home and make the wife watch it with me here tonight. We're about to find out. All right, let's get back to business. The icebreaker. It's hard to remember back that far. It feels like forever ago, right? But we'll try. It was really all gas, no brakes for Arizona State. Really felt like that. They're going to need to probably build another annex here at some point just to increase their trophy case space, don't you think?
That's never a bad thing.
No,
right?
no, but they looked really good.
And the point of pride to play for all of that, you
Yeah.
know, of course, is that early in the season is good to ramp up the intensity and get everything flowing in the right directions. The programs that you had in here, the familiarity of Fairbanks, the classic nature of Notre Dame, and then the recent national champion in Quinnipiac, right? You know, you could not ask for three better in the non-conference slate to come into your building. We had three really good hockey games, and Arizona State came out on top.
Four really good hockey games.
Yeah,
I mean, you know, like the one between Notre Dame and Quinnipiac got a little bit out of hand, but I agree with you that the level of talent was just awesome.
Yeah.
In, you know, any college hockey.
And the size of Notre Dame was as big as Shrek.
Oh, my gosh, they are massive, aren't they? I mean, when they figure it out, like how to throw their bodies around, they are going to be good. I heard what you said. I'm just passing over.
Did you see their new unis though?
Yeah, they're pretty
with the
nice.
hockey leprechaun. Those
they're pretty nice.
Yeah.
I was particularly, and I know you were as well, in that series, impressed with both goaltenders and how they, especially Urban for 2.5 periods to start that first game, and then Hasley, of course, came in to relieve Sam, unfortunately, but he did great. And then Hasley in the second game got the job done.
Yeah, look, I really liked seeing Sam Urban. You know, we'd heard about him for so long when he committed a couple of years ago, and what he was able to do on the World Juniors stage for his country, and you know, everything I hear about the guy behind the scenes, I love him even more.
He's
just
cracking
like,
up, yeah.
Like a funny dude, like that just believes that he can do whatever, and on the ice, and you know, he's shown that so far, and I can't wait to see how he continues to build over the course of his career in this program.
We gotta get him for our next show.
100%.
I think we're past due in talking to
his
Sam
English
on
is
the
pretty
show.
good too.
Yeah, so
and he's got some one-liners.
I know. We just got to come in a jolly mood. I'm sure he'll light up the camera and everything. All right, Cruz Lucius, our guest tonight. He's really been incredible. We know the thing that I was thinking about this week is like he's been great, but we know he still has more left to give and in the tank, which is like really fun for me at least to picture. But just imagine where ASU would be without his hot start. It's hard to picture.
Yeah, and again, like we were told when he came in, like this guy could be our best player and one of the best Sun Devils ever. And you know, it was really unfortunate with the injury. You know, it kind of hampered the start to his Sun Devil career, but you know, everything that we heard was like, oh, he's going to have a really good summer. And then when we came back, oh, he had a fantastic summer. And so to see him and that hard work rewarded in the first 6 games of the season is really, really cool. I think adding him back in the lineup is going to unlock those guys even further, and so the flow of that is going to be huge. I can't wait.
I want to talk more about Beck in a moment here, but first, just the Augustana series. Unfortunately, I mean, I know it's different scenarios, different teams, but to me, and I mentioned this to you over the weekend, it feels like that's going to be one that, you know, come January, February, ASU's going to want back. Maybe not the exact same, but like that Air Force game, that second Air Force game a season ago that they really should have had and could have had. But look, you know, it obviously face-offs are good. They're clearly skilled out there, but it only really matters if you're getting shots on net and putting pucks in the back of the net, and they just aren't at a high enough clip.
It just
right now.
felt like something was missing.
Right.
Something was off, whether it was intensity, whether it was the simple ability to calmly get the puck out of your zone with possession.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's where Brazen Bozer comes in, and what Coach Powers mentions about his elite ability to break pucks out. They did not show that from the defensive core that weekend. And look, as far as looking back and like shoulda, woulda, that could be the one. I think we're going to hear that every single loss because our team, the team is that good and that talented, where they think they can and should win every hockey game.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. It is a good thing. It should be the mentality because you have a fighting chance every single time, no matter who you're playing. You could be playing, Western Michigan or Boston University or whoever, or Augustana. It's going to be a tough challenge, but you need to go out there with the mindset that you can win every single game. Puck possession, though, you touched on it, is so critical, and they're just not doing that well enough. Hopefully this bye week really provides them an opportunity to flesh all that out.
And facing adversity is not necessarily a bad thing because
especially early.
Right, 100%, especially this early, because we know how much everybody was almost, I don't want to say distraught, but like was kind of stunned and shocked a little bit, like, wait, we lost, and starting to create that fight toward never feeling that again.
Real quick, what do you think ASU needs to do to win against Miami?
Simply possess the puck and be organized on exits from the D zone and through the neutral zone.
All right, conference play begins next weekend. We certainly hope you can join us. 4 p.m. puck drop on Friday, 3 p.m. Saturday. You can listen here on Fox Sports 910 or the iHeartRadio app. Pre-game coverage starts 30 minutes before puck drop. Our thanks tonight to Sun Devil hockey head coach Greg Powers, Cruz Lucius, Sean Crespin, and his entire team for help. We will talk to you next Friday, 3:30 for ASU and Miami. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Until next time, I'm Tyler Paley. Good night.